scramble you some eggs in a sack.
Slow down, Mo. Do you already cook?
Moesha * wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cultural touchstone of the 90s, blending humor, heart, and real-life struggles into a show that resonated with millions. Starring Brandy Norwood as the spirited Moesha Mitchell, the series tackled everything from teenage drama to family bonds, making it a staple of Black television. But behind the laughter and relatable storylines, a darker reality loomed for many of its cast members. Over the years, tragedy struck the Moesha family in ways no one could have predicted. From shocking acts of violence to silent battles with illness, the show's stars faced hardships that mirrored the very struggles their characters overcame on screen. What started as a celebration of talent and storytelling became, for some, a story of unrealized potential and heartbreaking farewells. In this deep dive, we explore the lives and untimely deaths of Moesha's brightest stars. Some names, like Bernie Mack and Kobe Bryant, became legends beyond the show. Others, like Merlin Santana and Lamont Bentley, left us too soon, their careers cut short by fate. Their stories are more than just footnotes in TV history. They're reminders of fame's fragile nature and the real people behind the characters we loved. So, as we revisit Moesha's legacy, we ask, which actor's story hits hardest? And how did their off-screen battles shape the show's enduring impact? The answers might surprise you. Behind Andell Wilkerson's quick wit and scene-stealing humor lay a story of resilience that few Moesha fans fully understood. Yvette Wilson, the actress who brought Moesha's sharp-tongued best friend to life, battled private demons that made her on-screen laughter all the more remarkable. Born in Los Angeles in 1964, Wilson honed her comedic chops at the Comedy Store before landing her breakout role on The Parkers, which led to Moesha Andell, a character who became the show's secret weapon. Yet as Wilson's career peaked, her health deteriorated. Diagnosed with cervical cancer in the early 2000s, she later developed kidney disease, requiring a transplant and grueling dialysis. The medical bills devastated her financially, a cruel twist for someone who'd brought joy to millions. In a heartbreaking interview, Wilson admitted, "I lost my house, my savings. Hollywood forgets you fast when you're sick." Astor's friends like ONeal organized fundraisers, but the system she'd entertained for years offered little safety net. Her 2001 marriage to Jerome Harry provided love, but no children, a regret she quietly carried. By 2012, the cancer returned aggressively. On June 14th, at just 48, Wilson passed away in a modest home, a far cry from the bright sets where she'd once made audiences roar with laughter. Today, her legacy lives on through reruns and the painful lesson her story teaches. Fame's glow often fades fastest for those who need it most. The moment Lamont Bentley strutted onto Moesha as Hakeem Campbell, audiences knew they were seeing a star being born. With his effortless charm and streetwise swagger, Bentley turned Moesha's on-again, off-again boyfriend into one of the show's most magnetic characters. But behind those dimpled smiles and playful rap battles with Miles, Bentley carried burdens that would foreshadow his tragic end. Born in Milwaukee in 1973, Bentley broke into Hollywood at just 11 years old with a role in the new Leave It to Beaver. By his 20s, he'd become a fan favorite on Moesha, where his natural chemistry with Brandy made Hakeem and Moesha's relationship feel thrillingly real. Yet when the show ended in 2001, Bentley struggled to escape the shadow of his breakout role. Typecasting limited his opportunities, and though he landed spots on The Parkers and One-on-One, the father of 2 daughters faced mounting financial pressures. The early morning of January 19, 2005, revealed the devastating cost of those struggles. Racing down California's 118 freeway at over 100 miles per hour, Bentley's Mercedes-Benz Cell 600 fishtailed out of control. The car flipped multiple times before ejecting Bentley onto the asphalt. He died instantly at just 31 years old, the same age Hakeem would have been settling down. Toxicology reports showed no alcohol, just a young man pushing too hard, too fast. MOESHA co-stars described Bentley as the cast's heartbeat, while his daughters inherited his love for performance. His death left Hollywood grappling with the dark side of child stardom, a system that creates icons but rarely protects them. Today, reruns of Hakeem's rap about cool guys don't look at explosions play like bittersweet prophecy for an actor whose light burned out too soon. The bullet that killed Merlin Santana on a quiet Los Angeles street didn't just end a life. It shattered one of Hollywood's most promising careers in its prime. As Oogie, the lovable basketball star with a heart of gold on MOESHA, Santana had become the breakout star of Season 2, his natural charisma making him an instant fan favorite. Few could have predicted his meteoric rise would end in a hail of gunfire at just 26 years old. Santana's journey began in New York City, where he landed his first role at age 8 in The Cosby Show. By his teens, he built an impressive resume with roles in The Steve Harvey Show and Under One Roof. But it was MOESHA that made him a household name, with Oogie's romance with Niecy becoming one of the show's most beloved storylines. Behind the scenes, Santana was known for his professionalism and infectious laugh, often staying late to help crew members. The night of November 9th, 2002 started like any other, Santana hanging out with friends in LA's Rampart District. According to court testimony, a woman falsely accused Santana of rape to her gang-affiliated boyfriend. In a fit of jealous rage, the boyfriend ambushed Santana's car, firing multiple rounds at point-blank range. One bullet struck Santana in the head, killing him instantly. The entertainment world reeled from the loss. Brandy Norwood canceled appearances, while Santana's MOESHA co-stars served as pallbearers. His murderer received life imprisonment. But nothing could bring back the actor many called the next Denzel. Today, Santana's final completed film Love Don't Cost a Thing stands as a haunting reminder of talent extinguished too soon, while reruns of Oogie's basketball scenes play like memorials to what might have been. The laughter Bernie Mack brought to his guest role as Uncle Bernie on MOESHA masked a lifetime of pain that would ultimately claim him far too soon. When the comedy legend appeared in Season 1's Driving Miss MOESHA, his signature blunt delivery and no-nonsense attitude stole every scene. Little did audiences know they were watching a man who would become one of America's most beloved comedians, only to have his life cut short by a cruel twist of fate. Born Bernard McCullough in Chicago's South Side in 1957, Mack survived childhood poverty and domestic violence through humor, developing his trademark, I ain't scared of you persona in smoky comedy clubs. His 1992 Def Comedy Jam breakout led to The Bernie Mac Show, but few remember his scene-stealing MOESHA appearance where he famously told MOESHA, "This ain't no democracy. This a Bernie crazy." Behind the laughter, Mack battled sarcoidosis, an autoimmune disease that scarred his lungs. He kept his condition secret for years, continuing to perform stand-up between hospital visits. In 2008, what began as pneumonia triggered a fatal inflammatory response. His compromised lungs simply couldn't fight back. The king of comedy died on August 9th at just 50 years old, during production of Old Dogs with Robin Williams. Mack's funeral saw thousands line Chicago's streets, with Samuel L. Jackson delivering his eulogy. Today, his MOESHA episode plays like a time capsule, capturing a legend at the cusp of superstardom, his signature raspy voice delivering lines that would soon echo through comedy history. As co-star Camille Winbush noted, Bernie didn't just tell jokes, he told the truth funny. The streets of South Central Los Angeles never left Ricky Harris, even as his career took him from gang life to Hollywood fame. Best known to MOESHA fans as the smooth-talking hustler JW, Harris brought an authenticity to his role that could only come from lived experience, a journey that made his sudden death at 54 all the more heartbreaking. Harris's path to acting was anything but ordinary. After surviving gang violence in 1980s Compton, he reinvented himself as a stand-up comedian, catching the attention of hip-hop legends like Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg. His raw, streetwise humor earned him small roles in classics like Boys and The Hood and Friday. But it was MOESHA that gave him his most memorable character, JW, the hustler with a heart of gold who always had a scheme up his sleeve. Behind the scenes, Harris struggled with the same demons he joked about on stage. Friends recalled his generosity. He often paid for struggling comedians' rent, but also his battles with depression and financial instability. In late 2016, after complaining of chest pains, Harris collapsed at his Long Beach home. Paramedics arrived too late. He had suffered a massive heart attack. The news sent shockwaves through both Hollywood and the hip-hop community. Snoop Dogg, who considered Harris a mentor, broke down during a tribute performance. Ricky taught us all how to turn pain into punchlines. Today, reruns of JW's hustles on MOESHA play like a bittersweet reminder of a man who turned survival into art, but couldn't outrun the toll it took. The comedy world lost one of its most explosive talents when Anthony Johnson, the actor who brought scene-stealing hilarity to MOESHA as the wild-eyed G-Dog, succumbed to his private demons in 2021. Fans still quote his iconic MOESHA line, "That's whack on steroids," but few knew the tragic backstory of the man behind the laughs. Johnson's breakout role as Easel in Friday should have launched him to stardom, but Hollywood struggled to typecast his unique energy. His MOESHA cameo in Season 1 as Hakeem's unpredictable friend showed flashes of brilliance, with Johnson improvising much of his dialogue. Behind the scenes, cast members recalled his relentless work ethic, often doing multiple takes to perfect his timing. But the pressures of fleeting fame took their toll. Johnson battled alcoholism for decades, cycling through rehab stints between small roles. In his final years, he lived quietly in Los Angeles, estranged from much of his family. When he was hospitalized in September 2021, doctors discovered his organs were failing, the result of years of substance abuse. He died days later at 55, leaving behind unfulfilled potential and a daughter he rarely saw. The cruel irony? Johnson had been sober for 6 months before his death and was negotiating a Friday reunion project. As his MOESHA co-star Lamont Bentley once said, AJ could make a funeral funny, but nobody made him laugh at his own pain. Today, his performances remain masterclasses in physical comedy, their joy masking the private tragedy of a man who gave audiences everything but saved nothing for himself. When Christopher Rios, better known as hip-hop legend Big Pun, made his cameo on MOESHA in 1998, audiences saw a charismatic rapper at the peak of his fame. Few could have imagined that just 2 years later, the 700-pound superstar would become music's most shocking cautionary tale, dead at only 28 years old. Pun's appearance in Season 3's Mo Money, Mo Problems episode showcased his natural comedic timing as he played himself judging a talent show. Behind the scenes, cast members recalled his professionalism and warmth. Brandy Norwood later said he spent hours mentoring young background actors about the music business. But the cameras didn't show his labored breathing between takes or how crew members had to reinforce his chair. The Puerto Rican lyricist had revolutionized rap with his record-breaking Capital Punishment album, but his weight ballooned as his fame grew. By 1999, he needed oxygen tanks to perform and was hospitalized multiple times for heart strain. His final months were a desperate cycle of crash diets and relapses, with Pun tearfully telling MTV, "The hunger never stops, not for food, not for success." On February 7th, 2000, Pun suffered a fatal heart attack in a White Plains hotel room while recording new music. The autopsy revealed his heart was literally crushed under his weight. His funeral drew thousands to the Bronx, where mourners included Jay-Z and Nas. Today, his MOESHA cameo stands as eerie foreshadowing of vibrant talent already being consumed by the addiction that would kill him. Long before Mamba mentality became a global phenomenon, a 17-year-old Kobe Bryant made his acting debut on MOESHA, a blink-and-you'll-miss-it cameo that now plays like a haunting prelude to greatness and tragedy. His Season 1 appearance as Terry Hines, a high school basketball phenom, lasted just 90 seconds but contained eerie parallels to his real-life story. Bryant filmed the 1996 episode during his rookie Lakers season, improvising most of his lines. In the scene, MOESHA flirts with Terry after a game, unaware she's talking to a future NBA legend. The basketball sequences used no stunt doubles. Every impossible shot was pure Kobe. Crew members recalled his intense focus between takes, already displaying the work ethic that would define his career. 24 years later, Bryant's helicopter crash in Calabasas shocked the world, killing him and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna. The tragedy cast his MOESHA appearance in new light, particularly his line, "Ball don't lie, but life might." Former co-star Shar Jackson, who dated Bryant briefly after filming, revealed he kept the script in his trophy case as a reminder of his humble beginnings. Today, the episode serves as basketball's ultimate what-if artifact. Bryant had planned to return for Season 6 as a guest coach before scheduling conflicts intervened. His brief scene now plays like a time capsule, capturing a leg. A familiar face in police procedurals and sitcoms, Dick ONeal appeared in Family Matters as Commissioner G, another in his long line of gruff authority figures. Though he worked consistently for over 40 years, his career exemplified Hollywood's unsung character actors, always working, rarely celebrated. Born in Chicago in 1928, ONeal built his reputation on playing no-nonsense cops, judges, and military officers. While the work was steady, he privately bristled at the limitations. "I could have played Hamlet," he once told a reporter, "but they only saw me as the guy holding the subpoena." Off camera, ONeal guarded his privacy fiercely. Rumors swirled about a failed early marriage and estranged children, but he never confirmed them. In his later years, congestive heart failure forced him to turn down roles. His final appearance was a 1998 NYPD Blue episode, fittingly as a retired detective. ONeal died of heart failure on November 17, 1998 at 70. No major obituaries ran. No co-stars gave tearful interviews. Just a quiet exit for a man who'd spent decades making leads look good, then faded into the background where Hollywood prefers its supporting players. Tom Poston's brief but memorable Family Matters role as the eccentric Mr. Looney in 1994 was just one stop in a remarkable six-decade career. Though best known as the bumbling sidekick on Newhart, Poston's life off-screen was marked by profound personal losses that made his comedic genius all the more extraordinary. After starting as a Broadway song and dance man, winning a Tony in 1959, Poston became a TV staple in the 1970s and 80s. His second act came via Newhart, where his dim-witted character George Utley earned him 3 Emmy nominations. But behind the scenes, tragedy struck when his first wife, Jean, died suddenly in 1978, leaving him to raise their daughter alone. His 1985 marriage to Newhart co-star Suzanne Pleshette became Hollywood legend, a passionate, volatile union where they frequently separated only to reconcile. Friends said Poston never fully recovered from Plechette's 2007 death, just 9 months before his own. Though financially secure with a $10 million estate, his final days were spent in respiratory distress, unable to perform the physical comedy that defined his career. When Poston died at 85 on April 30, 2007, the industry mourned a master of slow-burn comedy. But his true legacy may be the resilience of a man who made generations laugh while carrying invisible grief. Family Matters gave audiences 9 seasons of warmth and comedy. But as we've seen, the cast's real lives contained tragedies no laugh track could soften. From Michelle Thomas's heartbreaking cancer battle at 30 to Naya Rivera's heroic final act, these stories reveal the painful duality of Hollywood, where on-screen joy often masks off-screen struggle. Some patterns emerge in the wreckage. The cruel typecasting that trapped Jaleel White and Sherman Hemsley, the health crises that claimed Ron Taylor and Barry Jenner too soon, the lonely final years endured by Rosetta Lenoir and Ellen Albertini Dow. Even Fred Willard's scandal reminds us how quickly public perception can eclipse decades of goodwill. Yet there's beauty in their resilience. However briefly, they made audiences forget their pain, Whether through Urkel's high-pitched "Got any cheese" or Estelle Winslow's sage advice. That alchemy, turning personal sorrow into collective joy, may be their greatest legacy. As streaming introduces family matters to new generations, let's remember the full humanity behind these characters. The next time you watch, listen closely. In the pauses between jokes, you might hear the echoes of all they survived. For more untold stories of your favorite shows, subscribe below. The truth behind the curtain is always more compelling than the fiction.